Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I got a small little thrift haul for you. My girlfriend's mom was getting ready for a garage sale and she had some good treasures. So my girlfriend asked if I was interested in anything. Sure. And she said, come on over and look. Oh, had my heart. So I got this tin. I absolutely love it. And it's got some good patina on it. I can see an IOD Christmas transfer on here. And then it's got some good patina on the lid. But I don't know. The IOD sisters are showing a lot of their new Christmas transfers on tins. And I just happened to find one. And it's plain and ready for a transfer. Then she had another one. This one was Pennsylvania Dutch country scene, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I don't believe it's old, but this is a nice size, and it's got a good inside. But it's got some fun graphics on it. I don't know if I'll paint this or I'll sell it as is. It's kind of fun as is. She had lots of tins. And then she had this canister. I didn't Google this one to find out anything about it. So I know nothing about it, but it's got some patina on the inside. I believe it's pretty old, but I like the color. I do kind of like that graphic. It's very vintagey, very cottage core, wouldn't you say? And then this little black knob on the top. Then she had this one, Wolferman's Good Things to Eat. I don't know if this one is old either, but it's just got a good shape to it. It's the size of my hand, and it's pretty big. So this was a good find as well. You could even put a transfer on this side and leave those words, or put a transfer with those words. That might be an option too, because the color is good. The color is that neutral ivory kind of look. I like it. Then this tin. I've had one of these before, and I squealed when I found it the first time, and I squealed when I found it the second time. I did sell my first one because I wasn't really into saving the tins in my own home at that time. And I'm not a fan of red, but I do think it would look good at Christmas time. And I do have my campfire tin now and my Cracker Jack tin. So I might keep this one, but Sexton Anise Mints, and this one, I didn't look it up, since 1883. It's old. When I had it the last time, it's an old tin, and I just think it's cute. One of these strainers, that's what it is, a strainer with the feet. My mom had these. And then this one has the star pattern in it. I think these are so good to decorate with, leave them on with fruit on your counter. I really like these. Bean jars. They do have some printing on them, but she told me that you used to get your beans in them. So they always called them bean jars. They have some texture on them. I really like amber jars, especially in the fall time of year. I have a lot. So I might sell one and keep one. So take a look on my website and see if I have it listed. And then there's another one that doesn't have any texture on it. It does have some printing, some embossing on the bottom. But again, love that amber look. More amber jars. She must have liked amber jars as much as I do. I believe I've had jars like this before from the thrift store, but they didn't have a lid on them. And these lids have butterflies on them. They're really sweet. And then they got a little embossing on the bottom, not much, but they got all of those indents, that polka dot indent to them. They're pretty. They'd be really good in fall with some fall colors in them, don't you think? I probably won't keep them both, so make sure you check out the website. Clear glass. So these are little medicine jars, and they have little engraving on them, like the ounces. So I'm not sure what they were for, if they're for medicine back in the day, but there's 4 of them, and they're not all the same. Maybe these 2 in front are the same. I'm not sure. I don't even think they're the same. But I really like cleared glass jars too. If you've seen me long enough, you know that I'm a glass jar junkie. But I like to share the deals with you too. A turquoisey blue one. I might have to keep this for myself. It's that perfect turquoise, and it'd be really cute with a single flower in it. I might put that in my bathroom. Here was a little candle cup. I'll show you in a minute why I liked this, but I think it's old. It's got some embossing on the bottom here, and it's just a little tulip shape. It's probably for a tea light candle, but I bought something else that's gonna work pretty good in it. A Shiny Bright. Yes, indeed. I bought a Shiny Bright from her. Not only one, but 2. Doesn't it look cute in there? I thought it was really cute inside that little cup. A little pink saucer, and it does say something on the bottom of it. It's handwritten down there. I just can't read what it says, but it's this cute little pink saucer. And then this very, very delicate, cute little pink dish, we believe goes with it. So isn't that a cute looking set? That would be really cute for someone to have on their dresser or in the bathroom for some rings or just a little jewelry, or even just have that and display some soap or maybe a little soap in there. It's cute. I'm a sucker for white dishes. It does say USA on the bottom. It's got some good old crazing to it, and it's a cute little bowl. It does have a few cracks in it. I don't care, but it has some ridges on the outside. It's just really cute. A bread pan. This is Bake King, King of Bakeware. It's a larger size bread tin with some embossing on it. You know Ginger Chick Rehab? Do you watch Ginger Chick Rehab? I'm sure you do. But she uses these to put Christmas displays in and whatever else you want to put in here. You could even bake a loaf of bread and give it to somebody, or put some cookies in there and decorate it up really cute. Or you could use it. It's perfectly good to be used. I'm sure it's vintage, but it's still usable. And then there were 2 tiny little ones. Look at that. Oh, the patina on them is so good. They're little tiny baby ones. See, they go right inside the big one. Oh, so cute. And then, guys, I don't know why, I just couldn't resist these. And I don't even like clowns. Do you like clowns? I don't like clowns. But it was a box of carnival straws. I don't know when they're from, but they gotta be really, really old. And the straw is paper. Look at them. And it's so skinny. I don't know that anybody took any out of there. They ripped the cover off, which is unfortunate. But I looked these up, On eBay, they're selling them for $66. Yes, $66. No wonder I couldn't pass them up. I probably won't sell them for $66. And I probably won't keep them. But all I can think about is somebody wants them. Somebody needs them in their life. Check my website. If it's you, I'll ship them right to your front door. We're going to feature the new IOD holiday release. It's the winter release. This is just a plain old breadboard. And I thought that using the Saint Nick mold on this breadboard would be super cute, along with the winter foliage. So I'm going to add this foliage around Santa's head. I have a thing with floating heads. I also have a couple other Christmas molds that I may incorporate, and we need some cornstarch and the IOD clay. I'm going to show you here making a super huge mistake. I've made a lot of mistakes in this video, so bear with me. I can get us through them all and how I fixed it, but on here I added the air dry clay and I made sure that the back was smooth and using the micro rim. And then look it, I am struggling to get this Santa out of the mold. Well, you know, I said we needed cornstarch. Well, I forgot to use it. So that is why the cornstarch helps release your molds so much easier. I could have kept this out, but I wanted you to see how much easier it is when you add the cornstarch. So I just dust the mold with some cornstarch, and you can see I have ventilation, so it's pushing it away from me. And then I took that same clay and I wadded it back up, and now I know exactly how much clay that I need for the inside of this mold. I smoothed it all out using the micro rim, and then I flip it over and look at this. So much easier. Don't struggle without using cornstarch. And look at the detail in this guy. Isn't he just simply amazing? I just absolutely love him. But I don't like floating heads. So we're going to put some cornstarch on some of this foliage, and then we're going to add some little interest around Santa's head. Using the tight bound wood glue, I see Santa's head is kind of floating. I'm going to push him into that greenery and giving him more of a grounded look to him. So you can watch as I glue these on and how I figure out placement, and actually I cut into the other molds so that Santa is sitting flat and not sitting on top of them. But you can watch that all right here. Spend Christmas with me. Baby, loving you gets more cruel day by day. When I am right here and you are a world away. Stop this foolish business. Come home and spend Christmas with me. Spend
Christmas with me. Spend Christmas with me.
When he dries overnight, you're going to notice some cracking. So he kind of lifted away from where I cut him. So we're just taking some wood glue and some more IOD air dried clay, and we're shoving it into those gaps, and we're kind of sealing that up. It's really got no detail to it, but it doesn't need much detail. It just needed to cover up the cracks, and then we're going to paint this whole thing with black DIY in a little black dress.
Spend Christmas with me. I know we did agree, but I've changed my mind, you see. Come home and spend Christmas with me. Come home and spend Christmas. Come home and spend Christmas. Come home and spend Christmas with me.
I wanted to try using Sweet Pickins milk paint on top of molds, and you can see the breadboard must have had some type of grease or something in the center because that never really dried. I had some leftover antique ironstone Sweet Pickins milk paint, and I made a wash. So I am just going to wash right over top of all of this breadboard and the molds, and just let it fall into the crevices and get a little bit of the details that are popping out.
I've got a mistletoe in my hand, and the boys are lining up for my kisses all for one special guy. He's a dreamboat of a man, my own sweet.
I like the way that he turned out, but we needed to use the Sweet Pickins dark oil wax. I love this stuff. So you can see one brush full of the Sweet Pickins dark oil wax, and you can stretch it. It goes a really long ways. Just keep working it into all those creases and just working it all over the project, and you'll get it to stretch a long ways. One brush full, and it's going to do this entire, almost the entire Santa and half that board. So it goes a long way. Now we're going to take a dry shop towel and we're going to wipe off that excess dark oil wax after it's sat for about 10 minutes, and it turned out a little on the dark side. I'm not so sure that I like how dark it turned out, so I might, after it dries, I might dry brush some white over it. Let me know in the comments if you would add a little bit of white paint on top of this Santa just to make those details pop a little more.
I'm just so revved up by his presence. So let this mistletoe moment be that brand new start. Let this mistletoe moment.
For our second project, I found this coffee pot. It was missing the top, but I knew I probably had something in my stash that would work. And we're going to take this coffee pot and we're going to make sure that it's totally clean, and then we're going to paint it using tarnished pearl in DIY. Tarnished pearl is like a grayish white. It's really, really a great color. It goes on a little transparent, but this is one of those colors that after it dries, it kind of is no longer transparent. 2 coats is what I gave this coffee pot, and then I went in with a baby wipe, DIY paint before it is sealed. It can be wiped off with a damp cloth. In this case, I'm using a baby wipe, just trying to distress some of the areas that would have been aged a little bit and bringing back some of that metallic silver that was underneath. And we're going to be using one of the IOD transfers on this. And so I used my black velvet paint and I painted the finial that's going to go on top of the pot. I knew I had something in my stash, but we're going to be using the Winter Botanist transfer on this one. I love the way they put them on the canisters on the back. And so I'm going to kind of mimic that. This red poinsettia really caught my eye. And here's a poinsettia also. So that one, I thought, okay, can I incorporate those two on here? But I decided on this Christmas tree that's in there as well. So we're going to use this Christmas tree. However, it was too big, so I had to cut off the bottom of the tree, which is fine. I can use that label for another project. So I went ahead and I put on this transfer. What I'm doing is I'm just peeling back half of it. Because this is a round surface, you might get some cracking, and it just is really, really hard to manage the entire transfer on a round surface. So I only pulled back half of it, and then I used the stick that's provided and rubbed on it until it was completely removed on that one side. Then I removed the rest of the backing and very carefully went back in to the center and just rubbed off the rest of the transfer. This method worked so good. It is foolproof if you have a round surface. Well, I used the back of the transfer to burnish it in and make sure I had all the bubbles out. This little foliage was along this tree also. I'm going to use it to cover up the bottom of this tree from being so squared off. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a base, a little bit of a grounding with those red berries and green leaves.
Let this mistletoe moment give me everything I want. I'm not sure he even knows my name, but that we will remedy right here by the Christmas tree is where I hold my breath. But he won't know what hit him. See me standing there. The world will disappear and he will man up. So let this mistletoe moment.
This bucket I've had in my stash for a really long time. It was thrifted. I didn't paint it. I didn't do anything to it. It was just like this, and it did have a label on the front of it. And when I took it off, it left a little bluish hue to it. I'm hoping one of these transfers from this set is going to cover up that bluish look, and it'll go right behind it. You will not even notice that it has that little residue left from the label. And we're going to use this bird transfer. It is so beautiful, guys. I absolutely love this set. They really outdid themselves this time. So I'm going to put a transfer on both sides of this bucket.
Let this mistletoe moment fuse together to Christmas hearts. Let this mistletoe moment give me everything I want. So let this mistletoe moment be that brand new start. Let this
I painted the handle in Fancy Farm Girl to match the little bit of the transfer, and then I went in with the clear wax. And you needed to seal in the transfer. This was not painted, so it didn't have to be sealed, but I also wanted a rusty type look to it. So I came in with the DIY's Warm Dust, which if you don't have the Warm Dust, you're missing out. This is like the rusty crusty of the dust is. And so I went and I removed some of it off the middle of the pot, and then I went back in to the powdery form and just kind of blotched it on to make it look like the top and the bottom of the bucket were rusting. And then I came back in and I blotted some of that off to give it more of a natural look. The dust kind of just sticks in where that clear wax is, and you can see this is a much more appealing look than the backside where it's just plain white.
Let this mistletoe moment give us everything we want, everything we want, everything we want, everything we want.
This sign I had gotten from a thrift store, and it was vinyl lettering. Yeah, I didn't realize that when I picked it up, but I had to take a razor blade and get all of that vinyl lettering off, which wasn't terrible. And then I gave it a quick sanding. I am going to use black velvet and go over this entire board with black velvet, giving it one coat. Then I'm using the Sweet Pickins beeswax bar. And this is going to help give a little bit of chipping and a little bit of a resist from the paint going on. And I smooth it in with my hands just to give it a more natural look. And it's going around the edges and a few spots in the center of the board. Now I'm going in with the tarnished pearl and just adding 2 coats of the tarnished pearl. These toy soldiers, they did this box in the back, and I thought that was adorable. So I'm going to use those 2 toy soldiers. When you're using your stamp for the first time, you need to season it. You're going to take a piece of sandpaper and go both ways on your transfer. Now I'm figuring out how many toy soldiers I'm going to get across this entire board. Using my thin mount, I can square up my toy soldiers and square them up with the board so that they will make a straight line. Using my IOD black ink, I'm going to stamp them on. You hold them down with one hand and you kind of press with the other. Don't ever take both hands and move them at the same time. One is like an anchor and the other one is making sure that you get a good image. And then I kept the toy soldiers in the same spot, using that grid on the bottom to line it up so that they're nice and straight. And I'm going to do this across the entire board. I sanded the board back. You can see that that black velvet came right through and gave it a really vintagey look because it was a resist behind there. Now I'm going in with the DIY clear wax, and I'm going to clear wax the entire thing, and then I'll come back through with the dark wax and give it a little bit of age. This was a fun, really quick and easy board to do, and it's going to look fantastic on someone's mantle. I didn't take a picture of this, but it's just a tray. It had some floral on it. I'm painting it all in black velvet, giving it 2 coats of black velvet, and then I also sealed it up using Big Top to make sure that when I came back through, with my second layer of paint that the black velvet did not come off. We're using the antique ironstone sweet Pickins milk paint I wanted to see if I could put a transfer over top of the milk paint. And so guys, I guess I'm your tester. And I did have a little bit of a fail, but I show you how to fix it. So we're going to use equal parts powder to water, mix that up, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then come back in and give your project 2 coats. And it's going to do a little bit of natural chipping, and that's what I wanted. I wanted some natural chipping to happen to this tray, and I just made sure that I got the loose stuff off with a piece of 120 grit sandpaper, and I also wanted that little bit of age to it, and it's crackling perfect, just the way I wanted. So this Partridge Lane transfer is my absolute favorite. I love these little houses that are in there. So I found the smaller ones and I cut them all out, deciding which ones I'm going to use on the bottom of this tray. And remember, I have not sealed this milk paint in. So we're going to line them all up, and then I'm going to show you what happens. This happens. So it took the paint off and the transfer is still on the backing. We're going to fix it. DIY's liquid patina to the rescue. We're going to take the liquid patina, put it onto the project, and push the transfer back down on top of it. And we're going to let that sit for a little while. We're going to do that for this entire transfer wherever it pulled the paint up. Like, look at this. This is big time fail, guys. Big time fail. But we're going to fix it and it's going to be great. You're going to want this tip someday. So put this in your memory bank. Liquid patina, DIY's liquid patina, push it back down. Now I'm going to be smart because those houses are going to do the same thing. So I'm going to seal everything in with the DIY liquid patina. Now I'm going to come back through with a razor blade, the paintbrush with liquid patina on it, my fingernails, and we're going to pull that transfer off. We're going to force it to come off of there, and the liquid patina that's been on the tray is causing it to kind of stick down. You want to do this before it totally dries. You just want it to be partially dried. And then you're going to pull it with your paintbrush, you're going to pull it with the razor blade, and you're going to see it takes a lot of patience to do this, but the outcome is worth it. There are also a lot of spots I gave up and I didn't pull them off, and it gave them more of an aged, chippy look. I'm going to let you watch this process and see if you'd be willing to go to these extremes or if you'd have thrown it in the garbage.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding Sing joy, sing joy, sing joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness.
It worked, and I absolutely love it. It's all sealed in with the liquid patina, and now we're going to go in with the Sweet Pickins dark oil wax because those sides have not been sealed in, and I love to use this dark oil wax. So we're going to put that on, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then wipe it off. And look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It was worth the time, wasn't it?
And wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
This tin was like 19 cents at my thrift store, and it's kind of short and squatty. I knew it would work perfect for those houses, and so I painted it, spray painted it white to seal in that pink. And then I came back in with tarnished pearl from DIY and went over the entire base and the top to cover that up and get rid of those hearts. And we're going to seal this in with Big Top, let it sit, and then we're going to put that houses from Partridge Lane. We're going to put that strip of houses on just like the back of the transfer.
Soul searching, fall apart, tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed. Salvation or quick fix remedy. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I never could change. Damn right, never would. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Just leave the light on. Yeah, leave the light on. If I'll ever change, dreaming of Nashville, Tennessee, while the cold here in Sweden got the best of me. I got better shit to think about than that shit. Like deadlines, rents due, bills pile up, family day in, day out, the clock's mocking me, getting old, oh God, the kids deserve so much more than this, gotta get rich. You said I never could, ever could change. I thought I never could, ever could change. They said I never could, ever could change. Damn right I never would. Leave the light on. Oh. Leave the light on. Oh. Leave the light on. Oh. Just leave the light on. Oh. If I never change, if I never change.
Sealing everything in with the DIY clear wax. We're going to use the clear wax first, and then of course I want to age up this tin and make it look like it's not brand new. And we're going to use the DIY warm dust. Again, if you don't have the warm dust, it's a game changer. Check my website and grab yourself some warm dust. And it kind of melts right into the clear wax. And then after you get kind of that age look going on, you wipe that back. And then don't wipe it all back. You're just going to want to lightly wipe it. You want some of that clear tackiness of the wax still on there. And then you're going to tap in that warm dust. And it gives it such an age look to it, such a natural age.
If I'll ever change, if I'll ever change.
This was a plain cupboard door, had nothing done to it. We're going to use DIY's Dark and Decrepit liquid patina and stain this up. If you have to stain anything, this DIY's Dark and Decrepit liquid patina is so easy to use. You just mist it with a little bit of water, and it's water soluble, so you can wash your brushes. You just put it on, and it stains that wood to a beautiful finish.
Wouldn't lie to you, doesn't matter what I do. She's got a hold on me. She knows how to drive a truck, but she lets me pick her up.
The Sweet Pickins beeswax bar, we're going to distress some of those edges and make sure that the paint does not stick to it. And the Dark and Decrepit will come back through. And we're going to go in with the Sweet Pickins Antique Ironstone and paint this entire cupboard door.
Starts beating when my headlights shining on her. She's my country girl. I couldn't tell.
It had a bit of chipping on naturally. We're going to take a piece of sandpaper and we're going to sand off some of that chipping and go back down to that beautiful stained wood that's underneath there. The center did not matter. I was not going to use the Sweet Pickins paint for the center anyway because we are going to put an inlay on here. So I'm just making sure that I have all my excess paint off of that center so that no more chips off. Now I have everything all sanded really good in the center. I wanted a very distressed look on the outside. We're going to go in with the tarnished pearl one more time, and we're just going to put the tarnished pearl on the inside of this cupboard door. And we're going to give it 2 coats, and then we're going to go in with an inlay. So this inlay is amazing. It's got green and red color and it's got the black color. It is so good. I loved this Santa, and he is going to fit right on this cupboard door and make a really, really nice vintage looking door. So I missed the inlay a little bit on the front side of it, and then I push it off to the side. And now I'm going to take my tarnished pearl one more time, and this is the third coat. I'm going to make sure that I put the third coat on, making sure that it's wet all over. And then I'm going to take that inlay and I'm going to place it down into the wet paint. You do have a little bit of time to work with it and make sure that it gets into that wet paint. Then you take your mister bottle, you mist your paint inlay. I'm going to wipe some of the excess water off, and then I want a really, really good contact. So I take my IOD brayer and I brayer the back side of that paint inlay, making sure that all of it is seated into the paint. And then we let it dry. After it dries, you're going to see it's back to that muted look. We're going to wet the back side, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to get some of that excess water off, getting my paper nice and moistened on all the sides, and wait about 30 seconds and then pull it back. If you haven't used a paint inlay, don't be afraid. These are so worth it. The results are amazing and they are so easy to use. Look at this Saint Nick coming off this paper. Isn't he just the sweetest? So when you have to seal this in, I make sure that it's totally dry. And I didn't want any lines from where the edge of the paper was, so I took my sandpaper and sanded to make sure that there was going to be no ridges, and got that all the sanding dust removed. And then I came in with my Big Top from DIY, and I'm going to give it a quick coat of Big Top. And this is where you have to really be careful because this is actual paint. And if you go back and forth over top of your transfer, you will smear the paint. So you're going to take one quick strip across your inlay, and you're going to make sure you have enough Big Top on your brush, and you're very lightly going over top of it. You might miss some spots. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Do a second coat over the top. My brush has a lot of Big Top on it, and then I barely touch the surface. And I go over it one time, and then I'm going to go make sure that everything is coated, and then I'm going to go over it a second time. Now I'm going to go back in with my Sweet Pickins oil wax. I do love this. I wanted to know also if it would, how it would go over the DIY paint when it was sealed with Big Top, and it was a complete success. I was very, very happy with how the two paints took to the Sweet Pickins dark oil wax. It was really good. I loved the age of it. You'll have to let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that if you have any of these IOD items that you will continue to craft with them. If you do not have them, you can always shop my website at thepaintedphotographer.com and I'll ship them right to your front door. These are going to sell out, and when they're gone, they're gone. So grab them now. Thank you, and until next time, happy painting.
I couldn't tell you